There are certain vegetables that can do more harm than good after you turn 60. Vegetables that can quietly drain your energy, aggravate your joints, and block the absorption of critical nutrients your body needs to stay strong. Most people assume all vegetables are automatically good for you, but the truth is some contain compounds that an aging body simply doesn't handle as well as it once did. And the cost isn't just digestive discomfort, it can be slower recovery from activity, more inflammation in the joints, and a steady loss of stamina over time. Now, before we get into the specifics, I want to make something clear. This isn't about diagnosing a medical condition. For that, you need to work with your doctor and get proper testing. What we're talking about today is how certain plant chemicals interact with the body, especially when digestion, hormones, and nutrient absorption start to shift later in life. These are clues you can use to make smarter food choices so you're supporting your body's needs instead of working against them. After 60, your body doesn't process foods exactly the way it used to. Your stomach produces less acid, which means protein and minerals are harder to break down. Your pancreas makes fewer digestive enzymes, so you're not breaking apart plant fibers as efficiently. Your gut lining may be thinner, more sensitive, and slower to repair itself. This combination means compounds in certain vegetables, compounds you may have tolerated for decades, can now trigger irritation, block nutrient absorption, or put more stress on your immune system. One of the biggest shifts is in your inflammatory response. When you're younger, the immune system can neutralize small irritants quickly, but with age, that process slows down, and the same irritants can trigger longer, more noticeable inflammation. This is why some people find that foods they ate without any problem in their 30s or 40s, it's not your imagination. Your body's tolerance really has changed. Energy levels are also tied closely to these changes. As your mitochondria, the energy-producing parts of your cells, become less efficient, your body depends more heavily on steady nutrient delivery to keep you going. If you're eating vegetables that block the absorption of minerals like magnesium, iron, or potassium, your muscles and nerves don't get the fuel they need. That can translate into fatigue, muscle weakness, or slower reaction times. And there's a hormonal connection as well. Certain vegetables contain goitrogens, compounds that interfere with thyroid hormone production. Since your thyroid helps regulate metabolism and energy output, even a small disruption here can make you feel sluggish. Over time, this subtle drain can add up, leaving you tired even after a full night's sleep. Joint health is another area where the wrong vegetables can take a toll. Some plants, particularly those in the nightshade family, contain alkaloids, natural chemicals the plant uses for defense. In sensitive individuals, alkaloids can irritate tissues and trigger immune activity inside the joints. The result can be stiffness, swelling, or a dull ache that seems to come and go without a clear cause. If you already have arthritis or cartilage wear, this irritation can make symptoms more noticeable. Blood sugar stability also becomes more important with age. Your cells may become less responsive to insulin, the hormone that moves sugar out of your bloodstream and into your cells. Vegetables that are high in starch or have a high glycemic index can cause sharper spikes and crashes in blood sugar, leading to fatigue, cravings, and, over time, higher levels of inflammation. This is one reason why certain sweet vegetables can be more problematic after 60. It's important to understand that this doesn't mean you should avoid vegetables altogether. Far from it. Vegetables are still one of the most nutrient-dense food groups you can eat. But it does mean you should be more selective about which ones you eat regularly and how you prepare them. For example, lightly cooking certain vegetables can reduce anti-nutrient content, making them easier to digest and less likely to cause problems. Pairing them with healthy fats can help you absorb more vitamins, and replacing a few problematic vegetables with ones that are rich in anti-inflammatory compounds can make a visible difference in how you feel. The bottom line is this: your body changes with age, and your diet should evolve with it. Sticking with the same foods you've always eaten without considering how your digestion, hormones, and energy systems have shifted can hold you back from feeling your best. On the other hand, making a few smart adjustments can help you protect your joints, stabilize your energy, and get more from every meal. In just a moment, we're going to look at the 3 vegetables you should seriously consider avoiding after 60, and I'll explain exactly why each one can cause problems for your joints, your energy, and your long-term health. But keep in mind, this isn't about fear, it's about knowledge. When you know which vegetables might be working against you, you can replace them with better options that give your body exactly what it needs to thrive at this stage of life. The first vegetable I recommend avoiding after 60 is eggplant. Eggplant is part of the nightshade family along with tomatoes and peppers, but it's particularly high in a type of plant chemical called alkaloids. Alkaloids are part of the plant's natural defense system, and in sensitive individuals, they can irritate tissues, especially joint tissue. If you already have arthritis, cartilage wear, or general joint inflammation, these alkaloids can act like a constant low-grade irritant, keeping your joints stiff or sore. You may not notice the link immediately because the effect is cumulative. Eating it regularly can keep your joints in a state of mild inflammation without you realizing why. The second is raw kale. Kale is often promoted as a superfood, and it can be, but when eaten raw in large amounts, it contains goitrogens. These compounds can interfere with your thyroid gland's ability to use iodine, slowing thyroid hormone production. Since your thyroid regulates your metabolism, energy, and even body temperature, a sluggish thyroid can make you feel tired, sluggish, and less resilient to stress. For seniors, where thyroid output may already be lower, the effect can be more noticeable. Lightly steaming or sautéing kale reduces goitrogen significantly, but daily raw kale salads or smoothies can work against your energy levels over time. The third is corn. Technically, corn is a grain, but many people treat it like a vegetable. The problem is that corn is high in starch and has a high glycemic index, meaning it raises blood sugar quickly. These sharp spikes in blood sugar trigger higher insulin release, and as we age, our cells often become less responsive to insulin. That leads to more sugar staying in the bloodstream, more inflammation, and more fatigue after meals. On top of that, most conventional corn is heavily sprayed with pesticides and often contaminated with mycotoxins, substances produced by mold, adding even more stress to your system. Now, let's look at why these 3 vegetables in particular can be more problematic after 60. With eggplant, the main issue is the alkaloids, specifically solanine. In people with sensitive joints, solanine can trigger immune cells to release inflammatory chemicals inside the joint capsule. Over time, this can slow cartilage repair and increase stiffness, especially in the morning or after periods of rest. This is why some people notice their arthritis flares up more after eating nightshades. With raw kale, the goitrogens compete with iodine for uptake into the thyroid gland. With enough iodine, the thyroid can't produce optimal amounts of T3 and T4, the hormones that set your body's metabolic pace. Low thyroid activity doesn't just sap your energy, it can lead to weight gain, mood changes, and slower recovery from physical activity. For older adults whose thyroid efficiency is already naturally lower, the effect can be magnified. With corn, the starch content and glycemic impact are the biggest concerns. Every spike in blood sugar is followed by a crash, which leaves you tired, craving more carbs, and less likely to burn stored fat. Over time, repeated spikes also create oxidative stress, tiny bits of cellular damage, which accelerates aging and contributes to joint inflammation. Add in the environmental toxins that often come with corn, and it's a food that simply doesn't offer enough benefit to outweigh the cost for most people over 60. The point here isn't that these vegetables are poison. They're not. They can be fine for younger, metabolically healthy individuals who digest them well. But for someone in their 60s or older, with more sensitive joints, slower digestion, and less metabolic flexibility, these foods can tip the balance in the wrong direction. By reducing or replacing them, you give your body less irritation to manage, more stable energy, and a better environment for repair and recovery. The first vegetable you should be eating daily after 60 is lightly cooked spinach. Spinach is one of the best sources of magnesium, potassium, and plant-based antioxidants you can get. Magnesium helps your muscles and joints relax. Potassium helps maintain fluid balance to prevent stiffness, and antioxidants protect your joint tissues from oxidative damage. The key here is cooking it lightly, steaming or sautéing for just a couple of minutes. This reduces oxalates, which can block calcium absorption while preserving the nutrients your body needs. A serving of cooked spinach each day can noticeably improve both energy levels and mobility over time. The second is sweet potatoes. These are packed with beta-carotene, vitamin C, and potassium. Beta-carotene helps reduce inflammation and protect joint tissues from breakdown. Vitamin C is essential for collagen production, which keeps cartilage strong and resilient. Potassium helps offset the negative effects of too much sodium, keeping your joints and muscles from feeling tight or swollen. Unlike white potatoes or corn, sweet potatoes release their natural sugars more slowly, providing steady energy instead of blood sugar spikes. They're also rich in fiber, which supports a healthy gut, an important factor in controlling inflammation. The third is Brussels sprouts, preferably roasted or steamed. Brussels sprouts are loaded with vitamin K, vitamin C, and a compound called sulforaphane. Vitamin K directs calcium into your bones where it belongs instead of letting it deposit in your arteries or joints. Vitamin C again supports collagen production, and sulforaphane helps switch on your body's natural detox pathways, reducing oxidative stress that can accelerate joint wear. Roasting them brings out a sweeter, nuttier flavor, which can make them much more enjoyable if you've avoided them in the past. Now let's talk about nutrient synergy, because it's not just what you eat, it's how you combine and prepare it. Many of the vitamins in these vegetables, like A, E, and K, are fat soluble, which means you'll absorb them much better if you eat them with healthy fats. Adding a drizzle of olive oil over spinach or Brussels sprouts, or pairing sweet potatoes with a little grass-fed butter isn't just for flavor, it makes the nutrients far more bioavailable. Cooking methods matter as well. Light steaming, gentle sautéing, or roasting helps preserve vitamins while breaking down tough plant fibers and anti-nutrients that can interfere with absorption. Overcooking, on the other hand, can destroy delicate vitamins like C, so aim for a balance, just enough heat to make them tender and digestible without cooking the life out of them. You can also combine these vegetables in ways that boost their overall effect. For example, pairing vitamin C-rich sweet potatoes with a source of collagen, like bone broth, can amplify your body's ability to repair cartilage and connective tissue. Serving spinach alongside Brussels sprouts in the same meal can give you a broad spectrum of joint protective nutrients in one plate. Small intentional combinations like this can make a big difference over time in how your joints feel and how much energy you have throughout the day. Making these changes is much simpler than most people think. You don't have to memorize complicated diets or give up all your favorite meals. Instead, you can start by making direct one-to-one swaps. If you usually cook with eggplant, replace it with lightly cooked spinach. You'll skip the alkaloids that irritate your joints and gain magnesium and potassium that keep them moving smoothly. If raw kale is part of your daily salad routine, switch it for steamed Brussels sprouts. You'll avoid the goitrogens that slow your thyroid and get a strong dose of vitamin K and sulforaphane to protect your joints. And if corn is your go-to side dish, swap it for baked sweet potatoes. This way, you trade a high glycemic starch for a nutrient-rich, steady energy carbohydrate that supports both your joints and your metabolism. For the easiest transition, tackle one swap per week. In week 1, focus only on replacing eggplant with spinach. In week 2, replace raw kale with Brussels sprouts. In week 3, swap corn for sweet potatoes. This gradual approach gives your taste buds time to adapt, your digestion time to adjust, and your joints time to feel the difference. By the end of 3 weeks, these swaps will feel like second nature, and you'll be wondering why you didn't start sooner. Remember, the goal isn't just to remove foods, it's to replace them with ones that actively work for your body instead of against it. Over time, these small changes compound. Your joints may start feeling less stiff in the morning. You might notice your energy lasts longer into the afternoon. Even your digestion and sleep can improve because your body is under less inflammatory stress. The truth is, aging doesn't have to mean losing your strength, mobility, or stamina. Your body is still capable of repair and renewal, but only if you give it the right tools. The vegetables you choose every day are one of the simplest and most powerful tools you have. By eliminating the ones that quietly chip away at your energy and joint health and replacing them with ones that support your metabolism, collagen production, and anti-inflammatory pathways, you set yourself up for a stronger, more active future. So here's my challenge to you. Start today. Pick one swap and put it into action with your very next meal. Then keep going until all three are part of your daily routine. You'll be amazed at how quickly your body responds once you stop feeding the problem and start feeding the solution. Aging is inevitable, but feeling old is optional. Choose the foods that help you move, feel, and live like the best version of yourself.